You've seen images of unrest across the country, and tonight that frustration is being demonstrated in West Texas. Dozens of protesters took to the streets of downtown Odessa, and in Midland, tensions ran high as protesters and counter-protesters exchanged heated words outside of the Midland Park Mall. We have team coverage tonight. Demonstrators in our area, Dana Morris is in Midland, where Midland police have stood guard in riot gear. And Tate Owen is standing by in Odessa, where protesters have made their way all over downtown Odessa. We'll start in Midland, where law enforcement across all agencies are on standby in the event that demonstrators turn violent. You can see Midland police, Midland sheriff's deputies, federal officers, and the SWAT team. They were all set up in the parking lot next to Memorial Stadium and First Baptist Church. The spokeswoman for the city telling Dana Morris that they would only respond if there are reports of violence. Dana, I know at one point police were at the mall. How's it going right now?
Well, Tatum, it's still a very fluid situation out here in Midland. The protest has moved from in front of the Midland Park Mall to right here in the middle of the street at Loop 250 in Midkiff, the intersection right here. Cops have ultimately surrounded the area, but protesters are still in the street, still chanting. Though from everything that we can tell right now, this situation has remained non-violent. There have been no arrests made. But let's go ahead and rewind a little bit and show you where today started and what we've seen since we've been out here. Take a look. Today's protest started with a few dozen people holding Black Lives Matter themed signs and then grew exponentially throughout the evening, though tensions escalated when a group of counter-protesters lined up across the street. There was a lot of back and forth arguments and shouting, but no violence. Though the high tensions did bring in the Midland Police Department, who responded with riot gear. This did not deter the protests, though, and we did get a chance to hear a bit from both sides on what brought them out today. Take a listen.
Just because it didn't happen here doesn't mean it can't happen here. And I feel like everybody should come together in unity and we can actually make this place better again, except for dividing ourselves and letting all this negativity of race, gender, sexuality, all these things divide us when we're all one race.
Why are you here, sir?
Because I love my country, I love God, and I love my president. And I'm tired of seeing my country get burnt down to the ground for 2 days straight. I can't even sleep at night.
I hope that our voices are finally heard. After 60 years of peaceful protesting, we haven't been heard. And I mean, this is just another attempt to just do that peaceful protesting.
Later in the night, tensions flared again when Midland County Sheriff's deputies on horseback tried to separate the crowd. And Tatum, there's no telling how long this protest will continue. And Tatum, there's no telling how long this protest will continue, but they're still chanting out here. There is a heavy police presence out here. But again, we have not seen any signs of any arrests or any fights, no rioting or looting. So by all accounts, this has remained a non-violent protest. Now, for anyone watching at home, if you might have to go somewhere tonight, these roads are blocked off. So if you're going to be traveling in this area, it's suggested you find a different route. We'll be out here throughout the night, and we're hoping that this...
I like big booty white girls.
This remains peaceful. Tatum, back to you.
Dana, thank you. Now to Odessa, where a large group gathered along Grand Street to protest racial injustice across the country. You can see young protesters there making their signs right on the spot. Tate Owen follow along the group as they made their way down Grand Street. Tate, how is it tonight?
Tatum, it was a little bit of a different story out here in Odessa. Things are definitely already wrapped up. You can see behind me that traffic is moving, but that wasn't the case earlier, as OPD did have Grant Street shut down from 8th Street all the way down to 2nd Street. Now, these protesters marched from 8th Street down to the police department several times. They also marched down 7th Street to the City Hall, and then just basically showed off their signs everywhere they went. But, you know, overall, this protest did remain calm and organized, and one of the organizers of the protest said that he was proud of the crowd that came out.
I'm really proud of everybody out here because a lot of people out here are upset. They want to get upset, they want to riot, they want to fight the people that are trying to talk mess to us in their cars, but everyone's keeping it real calm because they know that this is the way that we have to do it. We have to be calm, we have to be respectful.
Now, the march was organized by two 17-year-olds, one of those that you just heard from right there, and they both say that they were born and raised in Odessa. Now, like I said, things are wrapping up out here. All the traffic is flowing again, but we do expect there to be another protest in Odessa this coming Wednesday. Tatum?